You don't get the show.
You know, in the primaries, everybody was hoping that we could get Bernie Sanders, and people are talking about they wish that we did because they thought that he might be able to take out Trump. One of the things that he ran on was the idea of not having any student debt or student loans, and maybe that would be something that the Chinese would want, because there's this next story is about an online loan company that goes, I guess they primarily target or loan to Chinese university students. And it's interesting because for the most part, if you think about it, if you're in college, you don't really have much in the way of credit. You know, you might have some, but you're usually just going on your credit, or maybe it's partially, you know, your parents' credit or things like that. But here, this online loan company uses nude pics as an IOU. So if you don't pay back the loan, they'll send not only your nude pics to your parents, but they'll post it online for everyone to see. And apparently in China, these people who signed up don't have a problem with that. Basically, it's like those predatory loans or those payday loans where it's the interest rate just gets really high. You know, it's not as bad as those, but it just keeps compounding. So, you know, anyone that has student loans sometimes will find out where the rate is so high that you'll end up being like, man, I owe this much. And if you're not paying on time, then they'd add more and more. Some of these students ended up having to take loans from the same company, because remember, if your credit isn't that good, it's not like you could just go somewhere else and be like, hey, give me another loan. No, because not only do you not have good credit, but now you already have a loan. So they're going to be like, wait a minute, you have a loan? How? I'm not going to give you another loan.
Again, yeah.
So you go, and they're like, okay, I'll give you another loan from the same company to pay off this existing loan. That's what happens at these payday and tie loans too. And now you're backed up. And it gets more and more and more, and you owe more and more and more. And then they end up releasing these pictures. So, yeah, that's what's happening to some of these students in China, where they're ending up sending these pictures online and to people's parents. And I just can't believe that this is actually a thing where you can use nude pics as an IOU for a loan.
That I thought was like hilarious, but like in reading through like the article when you sent it to me, it reminded me of, and I cannot remember the name of the company, but I remember the freaking ads on TV where it was like one of these like payday loan type of places. But when you looked at it, it was a payday loan service from an Indian reserve. So this is the thing that was crazy is I remember one day when we had like the DVR that it recorded one of the commercials. I actually like paused the commercial at the end where it shows all the like terms and conditions and shit. And it was freaking insane because it was like when you looked at it, it was like the LLC, the company was on an Indian reserve, which meant local law and all that could not touch this company, number one. And they're like and as part of like, you know, any law or whatever, when they talk about the interest rate, they have to like kind of put what the interest rate is. And it fucking said like minimal interest rate on any loan starts at 1,000%. And I was like, dude, that's freaking insane that it's 1,000% and it is legal because it is on an Indian reserve.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Because I've heard of like the payday loan things that their fucking like interest rate is insane. It's like a 30 to 40% or some crazy shit like that. But when I saw like minimum 1,000%, I'm like, yo, you've got to be nuts to freaking like go and do that. Because not only is it crazy enough, like, hey, they can't go after them and say like, no, you can't charge that much interest. Let's say you're crazy enough to take out a loan on there and you can't pay it back. They can sit there and force to get the money off you, and there is nothing that you can do by filing bankruptcy or anything like that, because technically it's on an Indian reserve. Like, their laws are above our laws, which means normally here, hey, I borrowed $5,000, I can't pay it, I'll file for bankruptcy, and boop, I don't have to pay it. No, over there they're like, yeah, you can file for bankruptcy. Yeah, you still owe us the $5,000 though. no matter what. So that was like, when I saw that, I was like, God damn, these fucking people, like, that's insane, dude.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in this case, if you would be able to have the editors from Ubisoft come in and maybe edit out your genitalia.
There you go.
If you can't pay back that loan, you're like, hey, before they release my pic, can you come edit out my penis? Because I really don't want the internet to see that.
They'll release a patch.
Because you know my cable's too short. It's ridiculously short, and I just don't want that there.
If at least we're gonna release the pics, can y'all edit it and make it longer?
Yeah, man, you have to pay for that. They're like, look, okay, listen. We're gonna release your pics, but if you pay back part of your loan now, we'll use our special Chinese Photoshop skills to make your penis look larger. Click here if you accept.
Click here to accept our terms and conditions.